Good day to each and everyone. I am Mr. Aries B. Manalo, Head Teacher 3 of Rosario National High School. Welcome to the Port Cavite Conference. I am proud to present to you my research entitled Content Analysis of Elementary School Physical Science Investigatory Project in the Division of Cavite, Basis for Technical Assistance. Again, I am Aries B. Manalo, Head Teacher 3 of Rosario National High School. With me is my co-researcher, Riza D. Soberano, EPS Science, Cavite Province. For my Rationale, Republic Act of 2067, also known as the Science Act of 1958, where it emphasized the use of research in science. This furthermore sees research as an avenue for the improvement of science concepts and knowledge in the basic education curriculum and in all aspects of learning. This is also seen in DepEd Order Number 39 Series of 2016 as the Basic Education Research Agenda, wherein it encourages all DepEd personnel and stakeholders on the conduct of research in various aspects of teaching and learning, governance, and other aspects of education. Furthermore, SIPs of students had real connections and solved problems in their community, as Autiri Armiscosi and Casampur 2016, cited in the study of Sanchez and Rosaroro 2019. Furthermore, it is known to all that International Science and Engineering Fair are being conducted based on the international rules and guidelines of ISEF of 2013, which, according to Jogar, 2013 do not exactly suit the context with which the investigatory projects are conducted in the Philippines. Thus, the research study would like to answer the following research question. For its main purpose is to ascertain the strengths and weaknesses of science investigatory project within the province of Cavite through systematic analysis. Specifically, it will focus on the content analysis of the base of the research or science investigatory project on the elementary level. For my specific question, the following will be answered. What is the percentage of the submitted research paper which complied the INTEL ISEF guidelines in terms of the following? Research title, research abstract, introduction, review of related literature, materials and methods, results and discussion, summary, conclusion, and recommendation, literature cited, bibliography, research ethics, and forms. And the second question, what is the percentage of submitted research paper which did not comply on the INTEL ISEF guidelines with the same parts to be evaluated? Third question, what is the percentage of submitted research paper which completely satisfied the INTEL ISEF guidelines? For my scope and limitation, the primary purpose of the study is to evaluate the science investigatory project SIPs in the Division of Cavite. Its major concern is on the strengths and weaknesses of the SIP that are submitted on the Division of Cavite. It focuses on the use of the instrument based on the INTEL ISEF guidelines rule. For my sampling procedure, the SIP subjected for evaluation were all the investigatory projects submitted as entries during the 2019 Festival of Talents in Science Physical Science category elementary level. This is composed of 100 entries for elementary level. For the data collection, the instrument used is utilizing the researchers' made checklist adapted from 2019 INTEL ISEF guidelines, which is composed of 50 item questions according to different parts of the research paper, answerable by yes or no. Also, the research instrument was validated by the EPS and some of the research coordinator in the different schools of Cavite. For my results and discussion, Table number 1, the percentage compliant and non-compliant to INTEL ISEF rule. For the compliant, you would see that the research ethics rank 1, followed by title, which is rank 2, and followed by literature cited, that is on rank 3. For the non-compliant parts, you would see scope and limitation, which is 89.66, followed by materials and method, 86.29, and results and discussion, 86.21. Based on this data, given the following points were observed: research ethics at 100% compliance. Why is this so? Because most of the research presented are not requiring the presence of some ethical forms or issues that needed on research. For non-compliance, were observed on scopes and limitation, which is 89.66 on materials and methods, and summaries, conclusion, and recommendation, which is 73.33%. Background of the study and related study cited has the lowest percentage, which is 66.67. Table 2, scores of science investigatory project analyzed based on INTEL ISEF guidelines, which will answer question number 2. As you could see, the highest score was seen on the title, followed by the abstract. Then the lowest score was seen on the literature cited and on the research form. Thus, we could recognize that most of the researches presented doesn't follow the rule on the literature citation and references. Aside from that, most of the forms required based on the INTEL ISEF guidelines were not submitted. For parts with least errors based on scores, ethics has 145, title has 123, abstract had 75, materials and method had 61, while the parts with most errors based on scores, literature cited and references had 9, research forms had 12, summary, conclusion, and recommendation had 17, significance of the study had 22, scopes and limitation has 23. Now, based on this, you would see that most of the significant part of the research were not complying on the data or on the references of the guidelines given. For table number 3, percentage of science investigatory project that completely satisfy the INTEL ISEF guidelines. How many researchers does comply to these guidelines? As you can see, on the frequency, those who is on the range of 46 to 48 and 43 to 45 scores, under the 46 and 48, it is only 7% of the total research submitted complied, while on the range of 43 to 45, there is only 13%. Thus, a minimal number of researchers nearly complied on the INTEL ISEF rule, while most of the researchers is below 36, wherein it covers 86% of the total researchers submitted. Thus, we could say that most of the researchers didn't comply on the INTEL ISEF guidelines given. So again, based on the data given, only 2 investigatory projects, 7% nearly satisfied the guidelines. A total of 25 or 86% of the total investigatory project analyzed were at the bottom. For my conclusion and recommendation, we could say that most of the researchers was unable to comply on the INTEL ISEF guidelines. Thus, it is recommended that the technical assistance must be given to all teachers and students who are involved on the writing of science investigatory project. It would also best if a common scientific research manual could be given to all students so that they could be guided on the proper writing of the science investigatory project. Aside from this, it would be best if the guidelines to be given would be based on the needs of the Filipino people. Again, this is Mr. Aries B. Manalo. Thank you for listening.